The galaxy was at war. Vast empires clashed, leaving entire star systems in ruin. Planets burned, colonies fell, and millions of lives were lost. Yet in the midst of this chaos, humanity was forgotten. Once mighty, humans were now considered a myth, a legend whispered among scholars and ignored by warlords. To most of the galaxy, Earth was just a story, something ancient, long gone, unimportant. Far beyond the busy trade routes and battle zones, a tiny star system spun quietly in the dark. It was a system almost everyone ignored, but from its deepest reaches came something strange, a signal. Faint at first, it seemed like random pulses of energy, nothing more than cosmic noise. Alien scientists glanced at it and shrugged. Just another star, they said. Nothing to worry about. But a few scouts noticed something unusual. The signal had a pattern. Not random at all, it repeated in ways that were too precise, too intelligent to be natural. They reported it to their fleets. Some laughed. Others were curious, and a few felt a chill, a sense of unease they couldn't explain. The scouts moved closer to the source, their sleek ships slicing silently through the void. Each ship was armed with weapons powerful enough to destroy planets. They were confident. No one had ever seen humans. They assumed this was some leftover planet, harmless and empty. As they approached the origin of the signal, something strange began to happen. The scouts' instruments started failing. Communications broke down, sensors flickered, and shields briefly dropped. It was subtle at first, barely noticeable. Then the pulses grew stronger, spreading through their systems like a silent storm. Panic rippled through the fleet. "What is happening?" shouted Commander Tharok of the Drelvar fleet. His voice was sharp, but his hands trembled over the control panels. The displays flickered, showing errors that made no sense. Energy readings spiked and then vanished. Weapon systems went offline. The scouts tried to respond, but it was as if the signal knew their every move. The lead ship turned toward the source of the energy. They expected a planet, a station, or maybe nothing at all. Instead, the stars themselves seemed to bend, faintly twisting in the distance. The signal wasn't just a message, it was alive, aware, and dangerous. The alien pilots whispered among themselves. Some blamed each other. Others wondered if this was some ancient trap, a remnant of a civilization long dead. But no one had a clear answer. Every calculation failed. Every plan collapsed. "Pull back!" screamed another officer. "It's too strong." But the fleet could not retreat fast enough. Even at maximum speed, the energy pulses reached their ships, forcing them to shut down one by one. Instruments failed completely. Engines coughed and died. Panic grew into fear. The scouts tried desperately to send a warning to their homeworlds, but their messages never left the system. It was as if the signal reached farther than any communication could. Alien commanders across the galaxy would receive nothing. They would be blind, unaware of the threat growing near this forgotten corner of space. Commander Tharok realized the truth too late. "We were fools," he muttered, voice trembling. "We thought nothing could challenge us, yet this is beyond anything we imagined." The signal's pulses grew more precise, almost deliberate. It was not just disrupting their systems. It seemed to be testing them, learning about them, preparing for something bigger. The scouts were trapped in a storm they could not see, a war they did not understand. And then, as suddenly as it began, the signal stopped. The ship's systems came back online, but the fleet was in chaos. Shields were weak, engines damaged, and the pilots were shaken to their cores. They looked around, expecting some enemy fleet or a hidden weapon. There was nothing. Only the quiet stars and the faint pulse of the signal, still lingering in the void. Commander Tharok stared at the data on his console. This is not over," he whispered. His crew looked at him with wide eyes, fear and uncertainty mixing on their faces. "Whatever's out there, it's stronger than we thought. And it's waiting." Across the galaxy, no one noticed the warning. Empires continued their wars, blind to the storm growing near a distant star. They laughed at the myth of humans, dismissing them as long gone. But the signal had already proved them wrong. Something ancient, something powerful, had awoken, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The unexpected war was about to begin. The galaxy had not yet understood the danger lurking in the forgotten star system. The scouts' warnings never reached their empires. The war raged on, and alien fleets moved carelessly, assuming humans were gone. But far away, hidden in the dark, a secret waited, silent, ancient, and deadly. Beneath a shattered moon orbiting a small cold planet, the remains of a human starbase lay buried under centuries of dust and silence. Its towers and energy conduits were cracked, covered in strange growths, and its lights long extinguished. To any casual observer, it was just a ruin, nothing more. Yet, as the alien scouts had unknowingly triggered, the base stirred. Systems long dormant hummed with sudden life. Energy conduits glowed faintly, and massive gates began to move, revealing machines that had not walked the galaxy for 500,000 years. From the shadows of the base, massive human machines began to rise. Their forms were like nothing the aliens had ever seen. Towering structures with sleek designs, their surfaces smooth yet bristling with hidden weapons. Each movement was precise, calculated, and eerily silent. The first alien ship to approach the planet was instantly overwhelmed. Its shields flickered and failed, engines overloaded, and it was thrown into the gravity of the moon. The crew screamed as their instruments failed, powerless to stop the inevitable. The ship's destruction was swift and complete, leaving only a glowing wreck drifting in space. Other scouts attempted to retreat, but the ancient machines had already scanned them. Energy pulses shot out in waves, disabling engines, disrupting weapons, and cutting communications. The aliens realized too late that they had no advantage. Technology that had been considered advanced by the galaxy's greatest empires was obsolete here. Human machines were centuries ahead of anything alive today. Commander Tharok watched in horror from his command bridge. This is impossible," he muttered. "We were warned, and still we thought it was nothing. But look at them. Look at what they have built." The machines did not attack blindly. They moved with strategy. One massive walker lifted from the base, scanning the horizon, targeting the alien fleet with precision strikes that seemed almost intelligent. Another machine rose, and then another, forming a defensive wall that protected the planet and its hidden secrets. From orbit, alien sensors could not keep up. Every attempt to calculate the machine's movements failed. Every weapon fired was intercepted or neutralized before it could leave the alien ships. Panic spread like wildfire. For the first time, the scouts felt fear, not just for their lives, but for their entire civilization. "Retreat is impossible," said an officer, voice shaking. "They control the entire system. Nothing moves without their permission." But it was not only the ships that the machines affected. Alien minds began to falter under the sheer scale of what they faced. Ancient AI that had served empires for centuries could not comprehend the patterns these human machines followed. It was as if they were alive, learning with every pulse of energy, adapting with every action taken by their enemies. Deep within the base, a central core began to glow, a massive sphere of unknown metal and energy. It pulsed rhythmically like a heartbeat. This was the brain, the command center, the intelligence behind the ancient defense. And as it activated fully, it sent a wave of energy out into the galaxy, a silent warning, a challenge, a statement of power. The scouts tried to flee again, but the energy pulses reached them before they could escape. Engines overloaded, shields collapsed, and one by one, ships were disabled. Commander Tharok's fleet was reduced to drifting wrecks, unable to respond, unable to call for help. The signal from Part 1 was nothing compared to this. This was a fully realized power awakening after 500,000 years of silence. In the distance, the alien fleets began to realize the truth. Humanity had not disappeared. They had hidden, advanced, and waited. And now, with machines that could strike entire fleets, humans were no longer myths. They were the masters of the system, and soon they might master the galaxy again. As the last alien ship fell under the control of the ancient machines, a faint glow appeared on the planet's surface. The machines were preparing for something greater, an expansion beyond this small system. The galaxy would soon learn that humanity's power was not only preserved, it was perfect. Honed over 500,000 years, Commander Tharok slumped in his seat, unable to comprehend the scale of what had been unleashed. We never should have come here," he whispered. "We never should have thought humans were gone. We have awakened something unstoppable." The alien scouts had only seen the beginning. The full force of human technology was still dormant, waiting for the right moment. The ancient machines were alive, patient, and unstoppable. And in the darkness of the forgotten system, the first sparks of a war no one expected began to burn. The galaxy's most powerful empires had ignored a small signal. They had laughed at the myth of humanity. Now they would regret it forever. The remnants of the alien scouts drifted silently through space, disabled and powerless. Their messages had failed, their fleets scattered. Across the galaxy, empires continued to fight, blind to the storm building in the forgotten star system. No one suspected that humanity, long thought extinct, was about to return in a way no one could imagine. Far from the scattered wrecks, in orbit around a hidden star, a lone human ship stirred. Its hull was sleek and silver, designed with technology no alien had ever seen. Years, centuries, even millennia of human advancement had been preserved in its systems. It had been in stasis, waiting, watching, and now it had awakened. Inside the ship, the air shimmered with energy. The control panels lit up, and holographic displays projected countless stars, planets, and fleets. A single figure moved through the bridge, human alone but commanding. Captain Arendor Wynn had been trained for centuries. Though biologically aged slowly, his mind was sharp and ready. He understood the galaxy had forgotten humanity and that forgetfulness would soon be their mistake. "Systems online," Arendor said softly, almost to himself. Every machine hummed with life, responding to his commands. Outside, the stars seemed to stretch, and the darkness of space pulsed faintly with the energy his ship emitted. Elsewhere, alien empires still debated the myth of humans. Some dismissed the reports of destroyed scout fleets as exaggeration. Others whispered fears of a forgotten threat, but none acted. They were arrogant, certain that a species gone for 500,000 years could pose no danger. Arendor's sensors picked up movement. Alien fleets were still active in nearby systems, unaware of the danger closing in on them. With a calm precision, he studied them, noting their strengths and weaknesses. Every weapon, every ship, every formation was catalogued and analyzed. Humans had centuries of strategic knowledge that no alien mind could match. The first target was a mining colony on the edge of the war zone. It seemed insignificant, but it was a supply hub for one of the largest alien fleets. Arendor activated a single probe, a small, seemingly harmless drone. In seconds, it sent back data, scanned the defenses, and then quietly disabled the colony's energy grid. No one noticed at first. Power flickered, weapon systems froze, and communications went dead. The alien fleet assumed it was a malfunction. Then came the strike. The probe multiplied, spreading through the colony, turning the very infrastructure against the invaders. Shields collapsed, defense turrets misfired, and chaos erupted. Within minutes, the colony was silent. Not a single human had set foot there. Humanity had returned, but invisibly, unseen, untouchable. The alien commanders finally realized something was wrong. Reports of missing colonies and dead fleets came in too fast, too precise. "It's impossible," whispered one admiral. "They can't be back." "Can they?" But Arendor was already moving. The human ship glided through space faster than any alien engine could track, guided by centuries of human innovation. He activated a cloaking field, blending into the void while his ship's systems began to interact with distant machines buried on old human worlds. Machines that had lain dormant for millennia now stirred, ready to defend and attack as programmed. A second fleet approached the star system where the first scouts had been destroyed. They had heard rumors of strange energy readings, but no one had expected what lay ahead. Arendor's sensors tracked them, recording every detail. Each ship, each formation was catalogued, and the information fed into the ancient machines scattered across hidden planets. Then the humans struck. From nowhere, orbital defenses activated. Massive weapons that dwarfed any alien fleet appeared, firing with precision unmatched in the galaxy. Alien ships were torn apart in seconds, systems frying under the assault. The fleet commander tried to retreat, but the paths were blocked, manipulated by energy fields humans had perfected millennia ago. Panic spread among the aliens. Arendor observed calmly from his bridge. "They still do not understand," he said, voice low. "They think humans are myths. They think we are gone. But we are still here, and we have been watching, learning, waiting." In a distant war council, alien leaders argued and panicked. Some called for retreat. Others debated whether to send reinforcements. Every plan failed. Human technology was invisible, intangible, untouchable. It was everywhere and nowhere at once. The first human ship, alone, had already changed the balance of power. The galaxy had laughed at humanity's extinction, but laughter had turned to fear. Aliens whispered of weapons that could strike entire fleets without a single human being present. They feared the legend they had ignored for centuries. Arendor activated a signal, a warning but also a message. It traveled faster than anything in the galaxy, reaching systems far and wide. It did not threaten, it informed. Humans were back. Their machines were awake. Their power was beyond comprehension, and those who dared challenge them would face the consequences. The alien fleet scrambled, trying to regroup. But Arendor was already gone, his ship moving silently through the stars, activating dormant machines, preparing the galaxy for a revelation no one would survive forgetting. And in the darkness of space, a single thought echoed through the minds of those who had glimpsed the truth. Humans had never been gone. Humans had never been weak. Humans had always been in control. The galaxy underestimated them. That mistake would cost everything. The war was no longer just between empires, it was against humanity itself, and humanity was awake. The galaxy was beginning to tremble. Rumors of destroyed fleets, vanished colonies, and strange energy surges had reached even the most distant empires. Yet no one truly understood what had been awakened. Humanity, long thought extinct, was no longer a legend. It was a force hidden in the shadows, ready to strike with power beyond imagination. Captain Arendor Wynn glided silently through space in his sleek human ship. His sensors scanned the dark star system ahead. Hidden among asteroids and dead moons lay the crown jewel of ancient human technology, a planet-sized weapon facility. It had been constructed 500,000 years ago, long before most alien empires had even formed. For centuries it had slept, dormant, waiting for the right moment. The facility was immense. Its surface shimmered with layers of energy shielding, impossible alloys, and hundreds of docking bays for massive machines. Towers and spires jutted into space, bristling with weaponry and sensors. To an alien fleet, approaching it would have been a death sentence. Only humans could navigate its corridors, activate its defenses, and control the systems within. Arendor's ship moved closer. He activated the ship's cloaking field, masking its presence. His plan was simple: survey, activate, and prepare. But the moment his ship crossed the outer perimeter, the facility stirred. Systems long dormant flickered to life. Lights glowed across its surface. Massive gates opened. Energy pulses rippled through space like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant finally awakened. The first alien ships to enter the system were immediately detected. Sensors recorded their positions, weapons, and shields. Before the aliens could react, automated defenses targeted them. Massive plasma beams erupted from the facility, striking with precise accuracy. Entire cruisers were torn apart before their fleets even realized what had happened. Panic spread among the invaders. This cannot be, hissed Admiral Kreth of the Sarlacc fleet. His hands shook over the controls. How can a single planet have such weapons? But it was not a planet. It was a fortress, a factory, a weapon all in one. A hub of human ingenuity designed to dominate space itself. Inside the facility, massive machines began to move. Walkers, fighters, and orbital cannons emerged from hidden bays. They were centuries ahead of anything the galaxy had ever seen. Each was controlled by an intelligence no alien mind could predict. Movements were calculated, coordinated, and perfectly timed. The aliens' attacks failed before they could begin. Arendor observed calmly from his ship. "It's time they understand," he said softly. He activated the core systems of the facility. A massive sphere at the center of the planet-sized installation pulsed with energy. It was a superweapon, capable of manipulating gravity, energy, and matter across vast distances. A nearby star flickered faintly as the weapon came online. The aliens did not understand what was happening. Some felt the pull of gravity change. Others noticed energy surges that crippled their shields. Entire fleets faltered, their formations breaking apart as if invisible hands had moved them. Alien commanders scrambled to adapt, but every calculation failed. Human technology was beyond comprehension. The facility's defenses moved with speed and intelligence. Massive energy beams struck alien ships, tearing them apart with surgical precision. Automated fighters swarmed, intercepting missiles before launch. Sensors detected attacks before they happened, predicting the aliens' moves with terrifying accuracy. Within minutes, the alien fleet was crippled. Survivors fled in terror, their morale shattered, but the true power of the facility was yet to be revealed. Arendor activated a series of devices buried deep within the planet-sized installation. Orbital cannons targeted distant systems, capable of cutting off energy grids, communications, and even the rotation of small planets. Entire colonies would be powerless against such a force. The galaxy, for the first time in millions of years, had to reconsider the legend of humanity. As the aliens retreated, Arendor sent a message. Not a threat, but the galaxy had never seen anything like it. Alien fleets, once confident in their dominance, now trembled in fear. Reports of destroyed colonies and vanished ships spread like wildfire. Yet most empires still could not understand what had happened. Humanity, long thought extinct, had returned, and it was not alone. From a hidden system, Captain Arendor Wynn commanded a network of human machines. Each planet, each base, each ancient starship was connected through an advanced quantum link, a system that allowed humans to control war across hundreds of light years in real time. The scale of their reach was unimaginable. Arendor observed a major alien fleet approaching a key trade route. Tens of thousands of ships moved in formation, confident that no myth could challenge them. "They think they are safe," Arendor said softly. "They think humans are gone. Soon they will understand the truth." At his command, the human machines sprang to life. Orbital cannons on hidden planets activated, targeting supply stations and forward bases. Within minutes, entire fleets were immobilized. Shields overloaded, engines failed, and weapon systems misfired. Alien ships collided, panicked, and fled in disarray. But Arendor did not act recklessly. Each strike was precise, calculated to maximize effect while minimizing human exposure. From orbit, the ancient planet-sized weapon facility monitored every movement. Machines deployed silently, intercepting attacks, manipulating gravity fields, and controlling energy flows. Alien commanders could not adapt. Every move they made was anticipated and countered. In one system, a flagship of the Sarlacc Empire attempted to escape. Massive human drones descended from hidden bases, disabling engines and scrambling communications. The ship drifted helpless, its crew watching in horror as orbital cannons fired from miles away, tearing it apart in seconds. Other fleets received similar fates. Panic and chaos rippled across the galaxy. Arendor's calm voice echoed through his bridge. "They believe in strength. They believe in numbers. But strength without understanding is weakness, and numbers cannot compete with centuries of preparation." The aliens tried to organize a counterattack. Entire fleets gathered, hoping to overwhelm human forces with sheer size. But the humans were everywhere. Ancient ships, hidden machines, and automated orbital defenses struck simultaneously across multiple systems. Alien formations crumbled, fleets fractured, and morale collapsed. The galaxy had never faced such an opponent. Meanwhile, human reconnaissance probes, small and invisible, slipped past enemy lines. They spread misinformation, disrupted communications, and created illusions of larger forces. Alien fleets chased shadows, wasting precious resources while real attacks unfolded elsewhere. Every move, every strike was part of a master plan that no alien mind could comprehend. The turning point came when Arendor activated a hidden weapon cluster near a major alien capital. Massive energy beams tore through the planet's defenses, disabling military installations, command centers, and orbital stations. Entire fleets lost coordination, drifting helplessly in space. Alien leaders realized their largest weapons were useless against humans. Fear gripped them for the first time. This is not war," admitted Admiral Kreth, voice shaking. "This is annihilation," Arendor observed silently. Humanity did not desire unnecessary destruction, but it would not be underestimated again. The galaxy had mocked humans for millennia, called them myths, and ignored their existence. Now humans were proving that their technology, patience, and strategy were unmatched. Across the stars, alien empires scrambled to survive. Some surrendered, some fled, and others tried to hide. Yet everywhere, human machines struck first and struck hard. Entire sectors fell under control without a single human soldier leaving their ship. And still, Arendor prepared for the next phase. The galaxy had learned a painful truth. Humans were not just back, they were in command. Ancient technology, preserved and perfected over 500,000 years, controlled the tide of battle. No empire, no fleet, no weapon could challenge it. The message was clear. From the smallest scout to the largest dreadnought, every alien ship would remember this day. Humanity had returned. Humanity had struck. Humanity ruled. And as the dust of shattered fleets drifted across space, a single thought spread through the galaxy like fire. The legends were true. Humans were unstoppable. The unexpected war had begun, and the galaxy had no choice but to obey. The galaxy had changed forever. Alien fleets that had once ruled entire sectors were now scattered, broken, or in hiding. Entire empires scrambled to understand what had happened. Rumors of humans, once myths, spread like wildfire, igniting fear and disbelief. The war, once thought to be a struggle among alien powers, had become something entirely different. Humanity's return. Captain Arendor Wynn observed the galaxy from his ship's bridge. Stars stretched before him, systems glowing faintly with the pulse of ancient human technology. Machines hidden for 500,000 years now moved with purpose, following commands no alien could comprehend. Humanity's power had been preserved, perfected, and unleashed at the perfect moment. "Status report," he said, voice calm but commanding. "All fleets accounted for. Systems operational. Ancient defenses online," replied Lieutenant Mara, her eyes scanning holographic displays. "No major resistance remains. Most empires are in retreat or surrendering." Arendor nodded. "Good. The galaxy must learn the truth. Humans are not myths. Humans are the guardians of this universe." From hidden bases across multiple star systems, massive human machines moved in unison. Entire planets had been prepared with automated defenses, orbital cannons, and advanced warships. Energy fields projected across systems, controlling movement, disabling enemy weapons, and protecting colonies loyal to humanity. Every action was precise, calculated over centuries of preparation. Alien leaders attempted to negotiate, to surrender, or to hide. Some sent envoys trembling to deliver pleas of peace. But Arendor was not cruel. He did not seek destruction. He sought understanding, order, and respect. The galaxy had ignored humanity for too long. It had mocked them, dismissed them, and forgotten their legacy. Now it had no choice but to acknowledge it. The first alien envoy arrived at the neutral zone, a sleek ship adorned with symbols of surrender. Its crew, terrified and shaking, broadcast a simple message. "We recognize your supremacy, humans. We are at your mercy." Arendor's response was calm, almost gentle. "Humanity has returned to protect knowledge, life, and order. Those who respect that will live. Those who do not will face consequences they cannot imagine." Across the galaxy, fleets paused. Planets ceased fire. Colonies stopped their battles. The legend of humanity, reinforced by the undeniable proof of their technology, commanded obedience without a single human soldier leaving their ship. Machines acted as the extensions of human will, precise and unstoppable. In the hidden star systems, humans began to restore order. Energy networks were stabilized, trade routes secured, and communication systems restored. Alien civilizations were allowed to govern themselves, but under the watchful eye of humanity. Resistance was minimal, as most realized the futility of opposing a species whose machines could strike anywhere at any time. Arendor looked out at the galaxy, his eyes steady. "We waited, and they forgot. Now they remember. Humanity is not gone. Humanity is eternal, and we will endure." The ancient weapons, the dormant machines, and the lost knowledge preserved for 500,000 years had done more than just destroy fleets. They had rewritten the rules of the galaxy. Every empire, every colony, every civilization now understood a single truth. Humans were in command. And as the last alien fleets disappeared into hiding, a quiet but undeniable order settled across the stars. Humanity did not conquer for greed nor for pride. They ruled through strategy, intelligence, and superior technology. The galaxy's most powerful empires, once arrogant and dismissive, now whispered their fear and respect. For a moment, silence filled the galaxy. Then slowly life resumed. Trade routes reopened, colonies rebuilt, and a new era of peace under human supervision began. Humanity had returned, not as myths, not as legends, but as the undeniable masters of the stars. Arendor's voice echoed through his ship one last time. 500,000 years have passed. Machines awaken. Humans endure. The galaxy belongs to those who remember the past and prepare for the future. And so, the legend that the galaxy had once forgotten became its guiding truth. Humans were not gone. Humans were not weak. Humans had always been in control, and humanity would always rule. The galaxy had learned finally that myths are never completely gone.